Hey everybody, this is David at Barnyard Bees, and I want to show you today, I want to do a follow-up on these splits that we did. We did these on the 12th of this month, because I wrote it right there on the box, 9/12. Today's the 28th. So these these splits are 16 days old. So I want to show you people that's worried about doing splits in the fall. Right here's a queen. If I can, let's see here. She's right there walking. See her going? Okay. Let's set her back in there for a second. I want to show you the rest of these frames. You know, people say you can't do splits this late in the year. I just wanted to show you these. If you remember in my previous video, we had two frames of bees total in these hives. There was no more than 2 frames of bees in one frame of just plain honey. This is how fast these splits take off. So if you remember, here, right here's the one with the queen on it. Set her to the side. Right there is another frame, and you can see, like this, I can tell right here, this is a frame that we actually done the split from, and you can see where all the brood is hatched, and they've replaced it in the middle. So that bee population exploded, and then there's plenty more waiting right in behind it, coming out in about another week. And same thing, both sides packed out. This hive right here, if it was spring, would be ready to split a long time ago. So no one can argue that these aren't strong enough to make it through the winter, and they're only go get stronger. So here's what we do. So when you do a bunch of splits like that, we did 28 total, 28 splits from Jimmy's yard to this yard. So not all, we used our own mated queens, which I'll get to that in a second. But that's why I keep pushing these mini mating nukes for everyone to use. Because if you have an unlimited amount of queens, then you can do anything with your bees. You always have queens. You'll always be able to do splits. And you'll be so much ahead of the game because you always have mated queens. And you let the little bitty hives do all the work. So you draw from the little ones, you put in the big ones. And then next year we're going to run probably 300 of those mini mate nukes. So we're going to have a lot more because we're selling queens and still selling queens like crazy. People are buying a lot of them, a lot of queens. So now what we did originally, like I said, these are 16-day-old split right here in the fall that, you know, a lot of people says won't build up. The queen's laying like crazy. She's laying good, no problem at all. There is a couple hives, and it always happens. If you do 28 splits, not all of them's going to take the queen. Some of them don't like, they'll reject the queen. These right here, where I got my bricks laying and my lid's upside down and the cage sitting beside it, I went ahead and back and installed 2 queens here that was rejected. So they rejected the queen. So I installed a queen. This time, I did like I did in the previous video. I installed her directly. I smoked the hive up. You can also spray it down with sugar water. That'll help your acceptance a lot. Spray it down with sugar water, release your queen. Direct release her. I sat there and I watched both of the queens for a long time. They look really good. They was accepting her, so hopefully we're good there. And with my brick system, I change up a lot. It doesn't always mean the same. Like, for instance, as I go through these, and it's a very strong hive, just like that one I just showed you, I'll put the brick upright like this. And that means it's very strong, it's ready to split. With this time of year, I'm not going to do any more splits, I'm just going to move. Now, actually, we are thinking about doing maybe a handful of splits, but not many. And we may move some of these back over to Jimmy's yard, these ones that are outgrowing really fast. But before we do that, I'm going to go through all these hives and find the ones that are weaker. For instance, like this hive right here, I got the brick laying just like you said. And that means it's a good average split. It looks good, but you really can't rob from it yet. This one right here, I put the brick sideways, and a brick up like this in any of these positions means it's got a laying queen. Anytime I don't have a laying queen, I put it down and then I'll move it to a certain position. This right here means it's got a laying queen, it's just weak. So what I can do, I'll come to these ones that I have marked with a brick upright, and I'll move a frame of cat brood over to these and boost those up. So as I'm going through, I mark every hive accordingly to what they need. This was another one that wasn't quite up to par like I thought. This one right here, you can see I got the brick upright, very strong hive, and the same with this one here that we just went through. So I'll mark it like that. The brick's upright. I come back through and pull a frame, a cat brood, shake the bees off, and put it in the hive and boost it up and get it going. That's how you do splits in the fall. It's easy, there's nothing to it. If you have an opportunity to have more than one bee yard, you got a lot more advantage because your bees don't fly back. Every bee you bring stays. And that's what I like about doing splits from we have a Jimmy lives 6 miles away, 6-7 miles away, 5 mile. Too far for the bees to fly back. So it works out very well. And that's about what I wanted to talk about today. I want to show everybody what these splits look like. When people tell you it's too late to do splits, that's what they're looking like right there. The ones I have mediocre, they look good. And we've got a long ways to grow. These queens will lay heavily right up through mid-October before they really throttle down much. Now, depending on the weather, because you never know, it could be sooner, it could be later, depending on the temperature and the nectar flow. We're in a goldenrod flow right now, so I fed these initially to boost them up, but as I'm going through them, I can see they don't need any food. So I'll probably hold up another week or so, and then I'll come back and I'll feed them again. But that's what I wanted to point out today and let everybody see. Yes, you can do splits. And it depending where you're at now. I got to throw that out because, you know, you're in the deep north. Well, you're limited more than what we are here in the south. And we're in North Georgia. So, you know, being up north and deep north, you may have to do this in late August, depending. You know, you just got to experiment with certain methods for yourself. But if you're anywhere within our climate, late September, no problem at all. They'll build up good. And but that's what I want to talk about today, and we still got queens, folks. If anybody needs queens, give us a call. Call Heather, 706-508-5086. I'll put the number in the description below. If anybody still needs queens, we still got them. Or our drone population's hanging around. It's hanging around more than it did last year for sure. Last year was pitiful. We got into a drought and just never recovered from them. The drones were going quick. It was like late July, they was pretty much gone. They would just, and because of the drought, the queens slowed down fast. So you can see the traffic here. They're going really good. So that's about it for today. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Facebook. Barnyard Bees Incorporated. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Barnyard Bees.